guys, welcome again and thank you for tuning in to this channel. If you're new here, very much welcome. We're glad to have you here. And for those that have been on this channel, thank you very much. And I hope this has really been insightful for you and I've helped you through your journey till this point. Today, without wasting much of your time, we're going right into it. How to succeed in an Oriel interview. What is Oriel? It is the medical platform that the United Kingdom NHS specifically uses to recruit medical personnel. So doctors use Oriel, pharmacists use Oriel as well. I'm not sure about nurses and physiotherapists, but I'm sure of doctors and pharmacists. Pharmacists for pre-reg. If you become a pharmacist eventually, it's going to be the individual organization to determine how they want to recruit you. But for the pre-reg, which is training, so basically it is the government's way of recruiting medical personnel into training. So the Oriel they use to also recruit doctors when they want to go into their training programs, say GP training or specialist training. So basically, Oriel for pharmacists involves 3 different kind of exams. You have the calculations, you have the situational judgment, and then you have the multiple mini interviews. We'll be talking about the 3 of them briefly. I don't want to bore you today, but I just want you to just have an idea of it. First of all, calculation is very important. Here, if you do not score 80% in your calculations, even if you score well in all of the other sections of your exams, for your pre-reg and for your final exams, you're not going anywhere. So basically, calculations is very important. It doesn't mean it's a monster, and I don't want you to idolize it, and I don't want you to focus on it and ignore the other parts of your training. However, it is important. Trust me, it is not hard. The basic thing about calculations is knowing the principles of calculations. There are 5 sections of calculations, and all you need to do is know how to solve those different sections. The questions, no matter how much they twist it, it is still the same way to solve it, as long as you know how to deal with your different sections of calculations. I know there is dilution, I know there is LT economics, and there are 3 other ones. I'm not delving into it today, but yeah, just to give you an idea of it. So basically, it's just knowing the techniques, and then you'll be able to solve the questions. It is not hard. If we need to do a session on it, I'm happy for us to go on with it. And then if you need recommendations, there are books that I used and they really helped me in uni and then for my final exams as well after pre-reg. But just have it at the back of mind that all exams are important for the UK. However, calculations, because you know there's the story behind calculations, and that was why they made it really important. So for example, you want to give a baby 5 micrograms of a medication, and because you've not done your calculations well while you were diluting, you ended up giving the baby 5 milligrams. You know that is times 100 overdose. That is actually, yeah, and that can lead to death. So actually there was a time that the baby needed peppermint water for tummy troubles, and mistakenly the pharmacist gave times 100 of the dosage because of poor calculation techniques, and this baby eventually died. They went to court, and then of course, you know, they will take your license when such things happen. So we don't want that kind of thing. We don't want your license to be taken because of simple things such as making mistakes in the calculations, because sometimes the doctors will send prescriptions to you and they say, oh, give 2 milligrams every 4 hours. However, these things come as maybe 10 milligrams per 5 ml and all that. So you would now translate and say to the mother how many meals she's going to give every 4 hours. So things like that. It's not that hard, to be honest, but it's just that it is very important that calculations can cause big problems in the life of people. That's more to do about calculations. Right, situational judgment, which is a very important situation again when you're writing your exams. Doctors go through the same process. So Oriel is like the same process for us and for doctors as well. I think they don't do calculations. That's the only difference, because of course, you know, we are the ones that do more of the calculations of doses and all that. But they do situational judgment, and there are multiple mini interviews. So situational judgment, it just means your judgment in a situation. So for example, they give you a case study to say, this patient is on the ward. This patient needs to take paracetamol. However, this patient has liver issues. The family doesn't want the patient to take it because the patient has liver issues, but the patient wants to take it. How would you respond in this case? I just made that up anyways. It's not like it's a real scenario. But however, what I just want you to do during the situational judgment test is to see how much you put your patients ahead of your own pride and all that, and how much knowledge you can convert to helping your patients. So when you're answering the questions for situational judgment, they'll give you 5 different options and they'll tell you to arrange it in order of importance, how you would go about the situation. The first thing you should always remember is your patient is number one. So whichever of the options that would help your patients would be your first options. So whichever one suits the patient. So first of all, it's the patient. Then if the patient has got relatives, then it's the patient's relatives. Then it's your colleague. That is, they want to know how you work well with your colleagues, like your doctors, the doctors and the nurses and all that, people across discipline, the disciplinary, multidisciplinary team. Then finally, you put yourself at the bottom. Do you understand? So there'll be materials online to read. My set was the first I did Oriel, and to be honest, nothing. We didn't find anything. I literally went in and I was blank. I didn't even know what to do. But it was part of my training from where I was working that I just used. I just thought of it that, oh, what would I do in this situation, basically, and that was what helped me. Then I just read up on situation, because they will tell you what your exams are like. They will tell you the different sections. They'll tell you it's involving calculations, it's involving situational judgment test, and it's involving mini interviews. So I just read up on situational judgment, and then I didn't do too well in it, but I still fared really high because I was one of the first 1,000, yeah, of in the whole country. So basically that is what it is. You arrange it accordingly, and the first thing is put your patients first and you at the very bottom. Then the multiple mini interview, there'll be 3 different sections, 3 different rooms that you go through. So you start from maybe number 1 or 2 and then you go like that in a circle. In that team, there's going to be a layman. He's not asking you any questions. What he's just doing is he's observing the whole interview to be sure that nobody has been biased in your interview. And there'll be 3 other people on the panel that'll be asking you different questions. The 3 questions would basically be talking about the professional standards that we've got. So for pharmacists, we've got 9 professional standards, and I'd like us to read up on it. I'm going to put the link out here as well. So they'll be judging you based on the professional standards and how you're able to bring them into practice. So first of all, they want to be sure that you're person-centered. They want to be sure about your communication and consultation skills. They want to be sure about your problem-solving skills. They want to be sure about your professional relationship. Like I said, the multidisciplinary team, how you relate with the doctor, the nurses, and all that. Are you an island, or you're someone that you work like your teamwork kind of assessments? Then they want to see how much of quality service you give to your patients, so your quality management and organization. They want to see your resilience and adaptability, so they can say, oh, tell us a situation whereby you dealt with a very difficult situation with a colleague. So you need to talk about, first of all, you talk about the task, you talk about the action you've taken, and then the results. So don't forget, for your interview, for everything you want to say, if they say, because what they will tell you is, tell us is the beginning. Tell us how you've dealt with a difficult patient before. Tell us how you've handled the situation whereby you were in between the patient and your colleague. Tell us whatever story you want to tell. Structure your story into 3. What was the problem? What was the task that was given? Also, the problem was this patient came and was angry that I had given the wrong medication. What was the action you took? Oh, I took back the medication. I apologized on behalf of the organization and I corrected it. And I gave her the right one. I ensured that she had not taken the medication wrongly, or she had not taken the wrong medication that would have caused harm to her. And if she did, I ensured that I explained to her how much of damage it was going to cause, and if there was any damage and all that, and the things that you did, then what was the result of it? Oh, the patient went back happy. She appreciated the service I'd rendered. She was reassured that no harm had been done to her, and the dosage she had taken wasn't going to affect her, or she had not taken it, and so she was safe and all that. So basically, the task, the action, and the result, that is all you need to do. You don't need to go there to be saying, oh, so my friend now blab. No, you don't have to blab. Just go straight to the point. That's what they are going to score you on, and I promise you're going to do well. There was this stage. There was a section rather. I got 5/5. Yeah. There was another one I knew that I blabbed in that one because I was like at the cross point, and that was the only one I got 3. But the other 2 stages, the other two rooms, I got 5, 4, and then 3 in that one, and it made me score high in my test. In my calculations, I remember they give you 10 questions, and then it's 15 minutes, so you have like 1 minute 30 seconds per question. Yeah, and in my calculation that I didn't even know so much. I was just coming into the country. It was literally the week I came in that I had to write the exam, because your Oriel tends to lap with when you come into the country, so you need to prepare ahead of the Oriel. And then I wrote the exams, and to God be the glory, I still did it. Although I didn't eventually pick where they gave me, because it was far up south and I didn't know so much. I was like, I don't want to go to London. I don't like a busy place. I don't want to go where they have posted me. So yeah, that was what I did during the Oriel, and I smashed it. Right, preparing for the Oriel as well. So basically, you need to have put in your application into school and gotten your admission letter before May, because Oriel applications come out about April, May, and you need to put in your applications and submit all the necessary documents so that you can write your exams in September. The exams usually happen August, September of the year, but from May you do all the process and all that, and by I think they round up by say July. So that means whatever it is that you're doing, if you know you want to go through the Oriel routes, that means you don't want to start looking for people that would employ you for pre-reg. And it's always better for you to just go through the Oriel so that before you enter school, you're already settled about where you want to do your pre-reg. And when you're in school, you're not bothering about who is going to employ me and all that. You just focus on school, pass, and then start your pre-reg straight off in June. Or September, as the case may be. June is for people that are doing diploma, and then September for people that are doing masters. Basically, that's what to do. And then about school again, don't forget that when you're applying for the schools, the GPHC sends your list of preference of schools to the schools. However, you also have work to do. You have work to do, I would say, in a sense that you need to also contact the school, and then some schools will do interviews for you, some schools will do just tests for you and all that. But if you do not approach them sometimes, the GPHC will find out in some instances don't send these things up, or maybe the school say they don't receive it, and then you miss out on your first choice of school. So I would say that even though the GPHC has sent it off, approach the school yourself, apply, and then that's where they will be asking for your personal statements, which we will be doing in the next video. Right, I hope that has been enlightening today. If you have any questions, drop it down and reach out to me at any point in time. I am here for you. Endeavor to reach out to your friends, refer them to the other videos as well, and then catch up with everything we've been talking about. If there's anything that you think I've left out, let me know. We are planning a live session soon to answer all of your questions and queries, and I'm going to be reaching out as soon as possible. We're already over 100 followers on Instagram already. If you're not yet on my Instagram page, please go and follow at Niger Pharmacist in UK. At Niger Pharmacist in UK. That's where we're going to be having the live session very soon, where we'll be tackling all of the questions. Tell your friends, tell your family members, tell your colleagues that want to move over, and then I would see you next time. Remember to click subscribe button and invite your friends. Thank you very much, and have a lovely rest of the day. Bye.